What's going on, guys? Another knife review. Today we're looking at the CRKT EROS. It's an interesting knife. I can tell you there's definitely some things I don't like about this one, and it's probably not going to be a long review because when I get disappointed in something, I don't like talking about it all that much. I think this knife has a lot going for it. I think it could be absolutely perfect. I think that this knife would be pretty much a perfect gentleman's knife if the design was changed slightly. And I'm going to get right to it, right in the beginning here. You see this texturing? It's kind of like a diamond plate. Perfect. Awesome. If the scales were completely that, no issues whatsoever. But they're not like that. There's channels cut into this knife. And unfortunately, those channels end up making the edges super sharp. And I want to show you this with the jeweler's loop. All right, so follow this channel, right? First of all, right in the middle there, that is probably as sharp as your best Chinese knife. Your best flea market knife, right there, that's your actual cutting edge. That's how thin that is. But moving on up, we can see right there, comes to a super, super kind of sharp. That's the only way I can describe it. It's a sharp edge. And on the back side, this channel follows up right here, and it happens to end right at your liner lock. So we're left with, let me get another knife for a pointer here. We're left with a sharp edge there and a sharp edge there. Like really sharp, like a dull knife blade. That's pretty sharp. And it's not like it's over here or maybe there or up here, you know, where your hand might or might not touch it. Your hand's definitely going to touch it. Okay, because it's right where the liner lock is. Or excuse me, frame lock, not liner lock. But it's crazy. I don't know how this was overlooked. I don't know who tried this out and said, yeah, that's awesome. It's a Ken Onion design knife. And, you know, he's been around the block. He's no newbie to the knife world. Man has multiple knife designs under his belt, many customs sold, many knife awards. Just probably one of the all-time greats as far as knife, you know, designs are concerned. So how this can be designed and have something as obvious of a flaw as that, it's a little baffling. It's one of those things where it's not that big of a deal, but it is that big of a deal at the same time. You know, I can use this knife. It's not, my finger's not bleeding, you know, I can use it, but every time I go to unlock this blade, I feel it, it's sharp, and I'm like, it just reminds me of just something that was pumped out of a factory in China, and you know, you don't expect that from CRKT. They're one of my favorite companies of all time. They have the coolest people working there, they have the coolest designs, they have so much variety, you know, so many different awesome knife makers and creators. They're working with them constantly. And this is the first time I think I've ever really been slightly disappointed in the company, just in that, like, how was that missed? It's crazy. It's super sharp. Right there, right where you have to rub it. Every time you use a knife, you're forced to touch that sharp edge. But all that out of the way, let's pretend that's not there. It'd be a pretty damn good knife. I love this knife. It has a lot going for it. But honestly, I can't recommend this one because of the price tag. All right, that little issue right there, not that big of a deal if it costs 20 bucks. Not that big of a deal if it costs $40. Kind of concerned if it costs $70, you know, but it doesn't. This is a $165 knife. And for $165, it's actually a $225 knife, full retail, but obviously you're not going to pay that. $165 is about the street price, let's say, or dealer price. All right, so if you really want one of these things and you got to buy it brand new from a dealer, you're expected to pay about 165 bucks. And for $165, I don't want a sharp edge on my lock. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it just sucks because it's such a cool knife otherwise. I love to see this same knife in just this finish right here. I love this finish, by the way. Right there, I could do without the channels. That's the sole problem here. But that feels great. Awesome grip. Really cool. But anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, right off the bat, like I said, I'm not excited about the knife. So it kind of sucks to do like a full long review. Hey, this, and this, because the whole time I'm just thinking, why are those channels there? Why is that ruining this knife? But anyway, for those who are interested, some specs on this. 3-inch blade, extremely acute point on this. This is a gentleman's knife in my opinion. Super, super lightweight, super acute. And you'll find that with gentleman's knives, those are often two things that come together. First of all, you want it super lightweight, because think about it, when are you using a classy knife? Maybe when you're golfing, when you're wearing light slacks, maybe, you know, at the office, if you're a suit and tie kind of guy, that's part of your businessman. When you're wearing fancy clothes, generally speaking, you're not going to have a super bulky, heavy, crazy looking fantasy knife. You're going to have something sleek and slender and classy, but ultimately light. Most gentlemen's knives are lightweight. And I think it's for that specific reason. You're wearing some kind of a dress pants, or maybe it's in a jacket pocket or something, so weight is a concern. And also the overall design. They're not usually chunky. You know, this is super slim. All right, this blade is very, very fine. And in the usage of a gentleman's knife, or what I consider a gentleman's knife, you're using a very sharp, scalpel-like blade for light cutting tasks. It's precision cutting. It's not beefy, I'm ripping through cardboard boxes and plastic straps, in a warehouse type thing. All right, 0.09 thick on our stock here for our blade. This is Acuto Plus steel, by the way. And that's a whole different thing. I've talked about this before, but I've used Acuto 440. Acuto Plus, pretty much the exact same thing. Best way I can compare it to is a slightly better 440C. I'm not going to get too many details into this video. I'll do a whole nother series. I told you guys about different blade steels and stuff, more detailed stuff. But all you really need to know about Acuto Plus is higher chromium content as well as the molybdenum content. Both of those elements really aid in the overall strength of a knife. Not necessarily harder, but stronger. It also resists rust a little bit better as well. It has an IKBS bearing system in it, which is indicated by that pivot screw. You can see, whip this out again, there we go. You can see those markings there, the arrows with the dots, that indicates the IKBS. Very, very cool. The Akoma Korth bearing system makes it super, super smooth to open. Does lock up beautifully. All right, just unfortunately, I gotta rub that sharp edge to unlock it. I don't know what to think about this pocket clip. It's funky, it's different. I understand that, you gotta do something different every now and then. It seems super fragile. It's super, super thin. And I'll be honest, if I pull this out, I know I can bend this. I don't want to ruin this knife, but I guarantee I can, and that's it, it'll be ruined. So I'm gonna have to say fragile pocket clip on this. I did carry and use this knife, and I had no problems in carrying it and using it, except for the fact that it started chewing up my pants, once again, from that super sharp channel. These edges are just too damn sharp. Look at that. So look right underneath that's where your pants are gonna rub, right where those three very, very slim lines meet. So, yeah. Titanium handle scales, all right, super light, 1.6 ounces. All right, so what do we have here? We have a very, very pointy, very, very sharp, very, very light, very, very slim, awesome, awesome gentleman's knife, excuse me, that is super uncomfortable to use. And it costs $165. So there's a lot going for this knife. Unfortunately, this issue right here is enough for me to say that I don't like it. And like I said, it's the first time I said I didn't like a CRKT knife. And probably the only one I don't like that I've personally used. But anyway, not too much else to say about this one. It was cool. It's just uncomfortable, and it ruins it for me. But you guys may like it. I will say this. If you like the overall design of this, you like the idea behind it, there is a cheaper version of this, all right? And I want to mention, this is something I want to talk about in this review, but there's a stainless steel version that's $45. Much cheaper of a price. The stainless steel will be slightly heavier, and it does not have the same design, so this channel issue should not exist. I don't have one. I can't be 100% sure. If you have one, please comment below about it. But yeah, if you like the design overall, $45 for the stainless steel version. And this is the one thing that kind of saves CRKT every single time, is that occasionally they'll offer something that's a little bit more expensive. I think most people love CRKT for two things, variety and price. They have a hell of a lot of really cool knives, and they're awesome, awesomely cheap. All right, most of them are extremely affordable for common people. All right, if you're not someone who just collects knives, or someone who just wants to buy one to use it, or if you do collect knives but you don't have a huge pocketbook or purse to be able to buy all this stuff, right? That's most of us. We don't have a bunch of money to just sink into knives. So CRKT appeals to the masses because you can afford their stuff. And there's really cool stuff that you can get. But what they do that I really, really love is, in this case, they made an expensive knife, but they still offered you a cheaper version of it that you can have. So if you want this design, there's an affordable version of it. I can't think of any other single knife company that does that consistently like CRKT does. Like I said, every time I see something expensive, they always have some cheaper version of it, you know, or even the semis, not even like the super expensive ones, but the ones that are, you know, even under $100, sometimes they'll do a cheaper version of it, you know. Same looking knife, same feel overall, but different materials, sometimes slightly different design. So I like that. So in my opinion, this one is a dud because of those channels. But I might have to try the stainless steel version to see how they really compare. It's such a shame. Like I said, if this scale on both sides was that same texture all the way throughout, this would be one of my favorite gentleman's knives, right up there with the Swindle. The Swindle is an awesome, awesome gentleman's knife from CRKT. But anyway, that's it. Not much else to say about this one. That is the CRKT EROS. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.